I had been working toward this promotion for months. Late nights, extra projects, showing up when others didn't. I'd earned respect, delivered results, gained supporters. The day before, my boss congratulated me privately, saying, "Your announcement tomorrow will be inspiring." I went home that night full of hope. On the morning of the event, the room buzzed. Coworkers chatted. Cameras were set. Executives were seated. The CEO was to stand with me as I announced my new role. My heart pounded. This was validation. I stepped up to the podium, cleared my throat, and nothing. Silence. The fire alarm suddenly started screeching. Red lights flashed. The PA system blared. People were startled, rising. Panic rippled. Smoke detectors triggered sprinklers. The stage crew scrambled. Within seconds, the event was shut down. At first, people said it was a system glitch, a false alarm. But instinct told me this was planned. The timing was too perfect. The chaos was too seamless. My promotion announcement was silenced. In that moment, I felt fury, confusion, betrayal. I left the scene with questions. Who had access to the fire system? Who scheduled the alarm check? Who controlled the switching off of live feed? I knew this was a coordinated move. They triggered the alarm to bury the moment, to prevent the spotlight from resting on me. My next steps would need to be careful, strategic. And the hours after, rumors swirled. Some whispers said, technical fault. Others said, overheated wiring. No one claimed responsibility. The event planners said they'd investigate. The CEO apologized to the audience, blaming unforeseen mechanical issues. But internally, I sensed cover-ups, evasions. I began digging. I requested logs of the fire alarm system, access records, maintenance schedules, CCTV footage. I asked for vendor reports, electrician logs, who held keys to the fire panel. Meanwhile, I reached out to allies, stage crew, IT facilities. One told me the alarm panel had been manually overridden just moments before. Another said someone walked into the utility room near the alarm control panel 5 minutes earlier. I combed through building access logs. I cross-checked badge swipes with times. I compared security camera timestamps. I collected witness statements from ushers, tech crew, path of smoke detectors. It all pointed to one thing. Someone inside had triggered the system. But I needed proof, clear, undeniable proof. Because those orchestrating it would deny, deflect, hide behind malfunctions. So I layered evidence. Audio logs, override switches, visitor logs, internal access. I mentally prepared my narrative. Sabotage. Not a mistake. The deeper I dug, the more I realized this was a move of fear. Fear that I would expose deeper power plays. Fear that I would ascend. Fear that I'd shift influence. They used technology and theatrics to block my moment. But I would use data and courage to reclaim it. I requested a follow-up meeting with the CEO and head of operations. I asked for the full technical report, read it line by line. They handed me a vendor's fault summary. Alarm fault due to wiring glitch. But when I confronted them with access logs, override commands, CCTV timestamps, their story fractured. They couldn't account for key card entries that didn't match schedules, or override commands coming from control panels when no maintenance was scheduled. When caught, they shifted. Oh, a contractor was fixing something, or a test was run accidentally. Each excuse had holes. I pressed for who authorized tests, who signed off on alarms, who had keys to the control electronics. They hesitated. Their faces changed. Their confidence wavered. The meeting ended with ambiguous promises of audit. But I knew I had the edge now. I revisited witnesses. The stage manager remembered seeing a senior manager slipping through the back hallway toward the panel room. A technician later confirmed a keycard swipe at 2 minutes before alarm. I correlated that with the override time. I patched the narrative. Simultaneously, I mobilized support. Some colleagues volunteered to testify. I heard footsteps, saw lights flicker before the alarm. The facility head, fearing exposure, began voicing regret over weak security. The building security firm launched its own internal check. The tension built. They realized I was no longer a passive victim. I was an investigator. The balance shifted. They prepared defenses. I prepared proofs. The battle lines were drawn. I compiled a dossier, the triggered alarm file. It included chronological timelines, security logs, CCTV snapshots, witness statements, override access, maintenance records. I made it airtight. I prepared to present it at the next town hall meeting, or at least to the board. Meanwhile, I sensed resistance. Some in management tried to delay things, postpone meetings, bury audits. Some whispered behind my back, "He's stirring trouble." Others tried to isolate me socially. Some offered half-hearted consolation. But the truth was gathering momentum. Then came the final test. They scheduled a new event, supposedly to redo the promotion. They invited VIPs, media, employees. They announced me as the promoted role. But I told them, not until the alarm sabotage issue is fully resolved, publicly addressed. Let the company show integrity. They pushed back. Don't ruin morale. It's a distraction. I stood firm. The distraction was their sabotage. On the event day, I arrived early, files in hand. I quietly asked the security team to stand by. I asked building control to monitor the alarm panel. I positioned witnesses near key rooms. I asked legal counsel to accompany me. I was ready. They were not. When the time came, I walked to the podium, audio engineers in place, CCTV cameras rolling. I turned to the audience, paused, and began. I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, before I announce my new role, there's something we must address." I then laid out the sabotage narrative, step by step, holding up the dossier. I invited them to review the logs, the evidence. The room hushed. Gasps. Some faces paled. Some averted eyes. They could not interrupt. They could not trigger another alarm in that moment. Everyone was watching. The cameras. The evidence. The witnesses. I regained my stage. I regained my moment. The fallout was immediate. Questions erupted. Executives sputtered. Some attempted damage control. "We're investigating. We regret. We'll review protocols." But the facts I presented hung heavy. The security team confirmed my override findings. The building control logs matched mine. External auditors backed my analysis. Some within management were quietly reprimanded. Key card authorizations were suspended. The fire control room was audited. The vendors were questioned. Policies were rewritten. Supervisors who had pushed the sabotage expectation were questioned. No one wanted to be seen defending a false alarm sabotage. Media inside the company, internal newsletters, intranet, informal social media, buzzed. People said, "He was silenced, but he rose louder." Some employees apologized for their silence. Some admitted fear. Others voiced relief that the truth was out. The CEO formally apologized in a company-wide message, admitting oversight, promising an independent review, and vowing protection for those falsely targeted. The narrative shifted. I became not a problem to silence, but a catalyst for cleanup. But this wasn't purely victory. There remained tension. Some still distrusted me. Some saw me as troublemaker. But by standing firm and transparent, I had neutralized the sabotage's power.